First, Abhishek, let's start with what is it that you are looking forward from this discussion today?
So these companies are coming for placement in my college, and
Mm-hmm.
what they are looking for is a technical profile.
Mm-hmm.
Behavioral round doesn't play that big a role
Okay.
relative to technical, but it
Mm-hmm.
plays a major role. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a feel of how a behavioral round of interview feels like, and if
Mm-hmm.
I'm confident enough to give it, or if I sound okay.
Okay. Okay. So you basically want to be prepared for the behavioral interviews, basically the HR interviews,
Exactly.
right?
Behavioral interviews for technical companies. Yes.
Most of the HR professionals, especially when they're looking, to hire students straight out of college, right?
Mm,
The most important thing that they're looking at, a obviously the technical skills, right? That definitely comes from the tech panel, right?
mm,
If there was a technical interview, there will be scores out of 5 or out of 10.
mm,
That is the first thing. And if there was a machine round, were you able to complete that particular assignment given to you? That is all that comes in the first round. Okay.
mm,
And if there is, right, otherwise there'll be some organizations wherein they don't have any of this at all. They just want to see the cultural fitness of the applicant into their organization. That's very important. We have a lot of conferences wherein we HRs meet and we discuss as to what can we do to build a culture wherein a new student straight out of college is joining, right?
mm,
And he's not just giving his best technically. Apart from that, he is also doing a lot of things to contribute to my culture, so that after 1 or 2 years, after learning everything, he doesn't leave my organization. He sticks to my organization. This is very important, trust me, because newly passed out students join a company 1 or 2 years. The organization invests a lot of time and effort. Trust me when I say this, because students will be straight out of college. They'll not just know the basics of any work, right?
mm, mm,
So the company invests a lot of time and effort, and then what happens, they learn everything.
mm,
1 or 1.5, 2 years tops, they just quit, and they just join some other organization at a bigger pay. That's
mm,
fair enough. I mean, if you're getting a better
mm,
offer, why would you not take that up, and why would you stay in this organization, right?
mm,
So a lot of organizations are getting into that zone of doing anything possible to retain their really good resource,
mm,
right? So always remember this when you're giving an interview. As much as you need a company to join, the organization also equally is in need of having a really good resource in their organization. And who's that good resource? It's you.
mm,
Now it's up to you. How will you make sure that you prove it to them that you are better than the other students that they'll be talking to? This is the background. When an
mm,
HR comes to you and talks to you,
mm,
remember, he or she is also thinking that, come on, I need to have a really good resource selected today, so that I go back and report to my boss also that
mm,
these are the students that I have selected today, and these will be joining after a month or so. And it's the HR's responsibility to make sure that after these people join the organization, right, they have to prove the metal. It doesn't just end at you joining the organization.
mm.
Your performance will be closely monitored. And if there's a wrong hire, who is to blame? The tech and the HR panel, right? So what many students don't know, or they don't believe, is that HR round is supposed to be just a one way street, or just one person answering all the questions and the other person just selecting and ending it. No,
Mm,
right? It's a two-way street. So I'm sure you have noticed, when you are giving any interview, the first 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you might have kind of understood that the panel has already made up the mind. Have you felt that during the
yes, yes,
discussion of
yes, yes, yes.
first 10 to 15 minutes? Exactly.
Exactly.
So I don't know, it's a good thing or bad thing. I do this too, right? I get into the meeting room. I sit across the person, and obviously, like how we started our discussion, the greetings. How are you doing, Abhishek? How are you doing,
Mm,
Batul? Blah blah blah.
mm, mm.
First things are the greetings, right? So you've noted down greetings will be the first thing, right?
Okay.
You got into a meeting room, the panel asked you how you're doing, you asked the person how you're doing, and all of that, blah blah blah. Okay. Now, the interviewer, once he or she gets that affirmation that yes, the person is comfortable, I'm comfortable, I think we can begin the interview, right? The first thing will be,
Mm,
okay, Abhishek, we're comfortable right now. Can we begin? Right? You will say yes.
mm.
Then everybody knows the first question that the HR will ask or any other person will
Tell
ask
me
is,
something about this.
yes, I have your resume, Abhishek. I think I've gone through it.
Mm,
Now, I pretty much know your educational background and the skills that you're good at, the technologies and all of that. Everything is mentioned.
mm.
Now, can you run me through your resume? Okay,
Okay.
or can you
So,
introduce me to yourself? Something like that. These are just giving one meaning, but there'll be different statements. Right choice
okay.
of words. Okay, so this will be the first question. There'll be many candidates who will be upfront and they'll say that I mean they'll just start with giving details which are really not relevant to our
Mm,
discussion.
mm,
People will say that, as you can already see, my name is Abhishek Soni, that is mentioned in my resume, and everything that I know is already mentioned in the resume, as you can see. This will be the flow. As you can see, my name is this. I mean, I know that it's mentioned in the resume, but come on, I'm talking to you right now so that see,
mm.
Abhishek, the first understand this first 10 or 15 minutes can either make the discussion or break the discussion.
True.
Okay. That is why I always say this to the people that I'm interacting with. The first impression is the last impression. That's why I said in the first 5 or 10 or 15 minutes tops, the HRs might have already decided in the top of their heads that I'm selecting or rejecting this guy in just
True.
5 10 minutes. We do this. So when I say this, right, that first 10 minutes are really important. You need to have a list of things that you know that you will do or say in a way that the other person is super convinced. First 10 minutes
Okay.
are really important. Now, after 10 minutes, I know in the head that this guy is not suitable,
Mm,
and I don't think he'll fit into my organization. I know that in my head, but just to be cordial, right, just to be polite to the person so that the other person doesn't think that I'm being rude by ending the discussion in just 10 minutes, we
mm.
continue the discussion for the next half an hour.
But you
That
have
is
decided in the first 10 minutes if
exactly.
it's okay.
I know that in the head, and I've already written in my Excel sheet somewhere that the final feedback is rejected or on hold.
Okay.
So understand the introduction part is really, really like what they did in class sixth, class seventh. There are many things that are really not relevant to the topic, and just 5 to 10, 15 minutes, they don't stop. They'll go
Mm,
on.
mm,
They'll go on forever, speaking about things that are really not relevant, right?
mm,
So introduction is very important, Abhishek. So always remember this. Since
mm,
there are like three parts to the entire HR process, okay? This is the first part. Like how you when you draft a mail,
mm.
you know that there are three parts of the mail, right?
True,
Greetings,
true.
body of the mail, and then how you end the mail.
And
In the
yes.
similar way, an interview also happens with these three subsections. Basically,
Okay.
it's bifurcated into these three sections. Now, first, we've already understood it's the greetings and the introduction part, right? So, soft skills, right?
Mm,
Non-tech skills. Those are the things that cannot be mentioned in the resume and during the discussion can be highlighted. But
mm,
since you are a beginner in the industry, so there will be things that will obviously be mentioned in the resume, and you have to repeat that in your voice, in your fashion, in your tone.
okay.
You get it right? So whatever is mentioned in the resume, please repeat the same thing, but how you do it with your posture, like how you're sitting. So I did not cover that yet. That is also very important, right?
Okay.
When we used to take interviews in an actual room, a physical setup,
Mm,
when the person is sitting right opposite to me, I
mm.
can see if he's nervous or not by the way he's sitting, right? By the way his
True.
fingers are moving, right?
Mm,
Like a lot of people start, sweating like anything. That's okay. That was something that we used to notice if the person is really nervous in a physical setup. But now, since everything is happening online, it's difficult to gauge that, right? And that's I think an advantage. Let's see how you introduce yourself first. Then
Okay.
I'll give you feedback as to yes, Abhishek, you were really good. These are the things you should do, and these are the things you shouldn't do. And then I'll give you my expertise as to how a proper introduction should be.
Okay.
Okay.
Done.
Abhishek, good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing perfect. All right. So, Abhishek, I'm looking forward to this discussion. I already have your resume in front of me. I see that a lot of things are mentioned in your resume, a lot of technologies that you're proficient with already. I want to understand this from you. So, can we start?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, Abhishek, run me through your resume. Start with your educational background, and then just tell me what is it that you do when you're sitting free, you're not having any other task to complete. What is it that you do? And tell me, and I want you to end with one accomplishment that you have had in these 4 years of your college life.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for asking me, for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Abhishek Soni. I have recently completed my
Right.
third year of BTech from Triple IIT Delhi in electronics and communication engineering. Okay, so I am extremely passionate about software development and machine learning. I have even done recently done an internship in machine learning domain at leadingindia.ai, and
Okay.
I had done a few projects on web development. As
Okay.
for my interests, other than tech, I like football, I like basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and and sometimes I like to do swimming alone. It keeps my mind
Alone.
fresh,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and and playing sports and keeping up with sports
Mm-hmm.
along with my technical jobs and all. It
Mm-hmm.
it just keeps me fit, and it's what I like to do.
Now, Abhishek, great way of starting your discussion. As I said, you were really good with your introduction. You were cordial. You asked me how I'm doing. I'll give you 10 out of 10 on greetings part. Okay.
Okay.
Now, coming to the introduction part, you really started off really well. You told that your what your name is and what year you're into and what is your passion, right? Really good start. So always, okay, before I get into what you said and my feedback on that,
Mm,
every time you're giving an interview, okay, as I said, the first 10-15 minutes, right? You have to exhibit confidence in the form of your body language, your gestures, okay,
mm,
and your answers to the questions. You understood this, right?
mm.
Very important. The way that you're sitting. So the
Okay.
way
Okay.
you sit, Abhishek, is really important. As I said, it's not a physical setup anymore. It's just your face and whatever I could see the upper body. Very important. Because I think this will be the only way, or the parameter through which we can understand if the person who's giving the interview is confident or not.
Mm,
The most important thing is your responses, the way you talk. That will be enough. But apart from that, the body language, the gestures. When I'm confident, right, I move my hands a lot. That shows that I know the things that I'm speaking right now. I own the discussion, right? That is the reason I'm so comfortable that my hands are just moving with the flow. You're
mm,
understanding, right? That exhibits great amount of confidence. So the way you sit, the facial expressions, right? Very important. Smile wherever it's needed. Very important because that kind of shows that you are really liking the discussion, the way it is going. Okay. Sit in a fashion that shows that you are confident and you are comfortable. That is very important. Okay.
Okay.
And wherever required, make sure you smile. It shouldn't be, the kind of laughter that you have with your friends and the family. But no, wherever it's required, the poised body language and the smile is very important. Okay.
Mm,
Why are we doing that? Because you want to show that you're confident, A, and two, that you are really comfortable with the
mm,
kind of flow that the interview has. Okay.
Mm.
What did we learn so far? The greetings part of it and the introduction part. In the
Um,
introduction part, the
Posture.
first subsection will be yes, the body language, the posture, the hand movements. That basically is your gestures. And
Mm.
wherever it is required, you make sure you smile and make sure that you show that you're confident and you are, enjoying this discussion. Okay,
Mm.
by being comfortable. Very important. Now, if I have to give an interview, right, I will start the discussion by saying, "Hi, good evening. My name is Batul Ali. I hail from a place called so and so, like you're from Delhi.
Mm.
I completed my education in Delhi itself, and then I joined so and so college to pursue my higher education, that is BTech or whatever, MBA, whatever it is, the recent
Mm.
education. You say that, and the specialization that you are into, Abhishek. I think you mentioned what is your specialization?
Electronics and Communication Engineering.
Yes. When you say electronics and communications engineering, see, I'll tell you a little later as to how the flow of the interview happens, right?
Okay.
Uh, Understand now that the interviewer will not have a set of questions to ask, especially for the students.
Okay.
They want to see how comfortable the other person is. For example, if you tell me now that I have done my graduation in so and so specialization, okay,
Mm.
know that the next question will be on that only. Okay, like
Okay.
if you end that discussion with that, now my next question will be, okay, you chose this specialization. Can you tell me why did you choose this and not something else, Abhishek? I
Okay.
mean, this will always be the flow. Now, now you have to own the discussion. Okay. Now, how do you own the discussion? By
I have to give them the direction that I want.
exactly that is the really good thing you should be prepared at, first of all, right?
Okay.
You will give them information. Okay. The information should be in such a way that you will know already in the head that I gave him this answer. Now, his response, his next question will be on this only.
Hmm.
Now, if you tell that you are into this and this specialization, now most of the people will ask you this, especially for students. Why did you choose this? Now, before he or she asks, you will, already give that answer to him or her by saying that
Okay.
I was always passionate about doing these things and what led this decision. Or it can be anything. Be genuine, Abhishek. You don't have to have like a rocket science level of answer for everything. You can just say that,
Okay.
my cousin was, specialized into this. And, I always saw that he was really passionate about it and all that. It's okay. The
Hmm.
panel will really appreciate that you're being genuine. You're not giving
Hmm.
certain answers that are there on the web just to impress the panel.
Hmm.
Sometimes it really helps if the candidate is being really genuine about his answers.
Hmm.
Some questions that the panel ask, the students get really nervous and they try to say things that they are not confident about, but still just for the heck of answering, they
Hmm.
answer,
Hmm.
which will not be genuine. Now,
Even I
that
have
is
done that.
one thing, exactly. That is one thing that will really tick off the direction in a very, wrong direction, in
Hmm.
a very wrong way. It should never happen. So make sure whatever your responses are, they're really genuine and to the point.
Precise. Okay.
Yes, precise. That's the right word. Now, how did I start my introduction? I, told where I'm from. Obviously, it started with your name and where
Hmm.
I'm from.
Hmm.
Where do you complete your education? If your education line has happened in different places of the country or something like that, make
Hmm.
sure you tell that because that kind of information is very important.
Hmm.
Otherwise, if it has just been in one place, I completed my entire education in Delhi, and then I got into engineering, and my specialization is this. Now, let me tell you why I'm specialized in this and not something else. Now, you only will give that answer before that panel asks.
Okay.
Okay? Make
Okay.
sure. Otherwise, you can have this fashion also. If you know the answer for that question already,
Hmm.
just say that and end the discussion. Now you'll know that the person will ask this question only. That can
Okay.
also be the another way of approaching things.
Hmm.
Okay, you are
Hmm.
basically owning the discussion. You are giving
Okay.
only that information that you want the interviewer to hear, and the next question will be related to that response of yours that you already gave.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, I the last question that I asked you was no, that was not the last question. The last one was accomplishment. Before that, I told you, whenever you're free, what is it that you'd like to do? Right?
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
asked you that. And what was your response, Abhishek?
Uh, s- Basketball, football, and swimming.
ठीक है अच्छा that is you're being really genuine. I understand most of the students are sports, or shopping, or all of these things, watching Netflix shows or anything like that, or reading for that matter also, will
Hmm.
come only when the panel asks you what are your hobbies, right?
Okay.
And this question is always, picked towards the end of the discussion. I was talking
Okay.
about how we close the interview, right?
Hmm.
We close the interview by asking these questions, which will make sure that the person is really comfortable. Because when we're
Okay.
ending the discussion, there can be two possibilities. First possibility is that Abhishek already knows that the interview did not go well, so I think he knows in the head that he will be rejected.
Hmm.
Okay, that is one possibility. And second possibility is that the interview went so well that Abhishek already knows that I'll be selected, right?
Hmm.
Two possibilities. Now, in both the possibilities, it's a responsibility of the panel to make sure that the discussion is ending in the right way. Okay, even
Hmm.
if it is the first possibility when the candidate knows that being rejected, still, we want to lighten the mood by asking certain questions which will make the person really comfortable. That's when
Okay.
these kind of questions like, okay, what are the plans today after the placements are over? Okay.
Hmm.
Or immediately after the exams are over, you will not
Hmm.
join any company. You will
Light
have at
questions.
least 1 or 2 months, yeah, 2 months
Okay.
free time with you. What is
So,
it that you're planning to
what
do? These
what
kind of
about the question
questions.
that you asked me? What should be the answer for that?
Exactly, I'll come to that. Look at you. Okay, so yeah, as I said, these are the kind of questions, that, like, hobbies,
Hmm.
your responses to sports and all of that, that should come towards the end when they ask you what are your hobbies, Abhishek. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when I asked, whenever you have free time,
Hmm.
whenever your exams are over or you feel that you're done with your studying and you have a couple of hours spare time with you, what is it that you'd like to do? Or what is it that you do?
Hmm.
Now, I expect this response from all my students. If
Hmm.
this is the kind of response that I get from my student who's a fresher and I'm planning to take that person,
Hmm.
I just give a straight A. And most of the HRs do.
Okay.
Okay? Your responses should be, whenever I have free time, I invest that time into learning something new. Okay?
Okay.
And since we have a lot of learning platforms out there like Byju's
Hmm.
or White Hat or anything like that, right?
Hmm.
Udemy, anything of that sort. I make
Coursera.
sure that I go there. Yeah, anything of that sort. I go there and I'm learning something or the other on daily basis.
Okay. Even if
Anything
it's not true.
that no, it should be true. Since you are on the edge of your graduation, you
Hmm.
you actually have to invest a lot of time into these things, Abhishek. Honestly, I do not want you to give these responses just because I told you today, so that the interviewer is impressed. But I really expect you to, start spending a lot of time into honing your skills from now on, Abhishek.
Hmm.
Okay, it'll
Okay.
it'll really help you.
Hmm.
Because see, put yourself in my shoes. Okay, you are the HR of the company. Okay, you have to select a person now. There are two kind of people. One is a fresher. One is an experienced professional.
Hmm.
These are the two resumes. Okay, from the experienced professional's resumes, I can see that he's a full stack developer. He
Hmm.
knows all the front end technologies. He knows all the back end technologies. Now, he already knows this, which will be an asset to my organization. Now, when I ask him, what is it that you do in your free time? If he tells, I read books or I
Hmm.
travel, okay,
Hmm.
that answer will be okay to me if it is an experienced professional. Cut to
Okay.
a resume of a fresher. Okay.
Okay.
Now that guy is joining me. He doesn't know anything except for the 1 or 2 projects that he's done. If the person tells that when I have my free time, I do these and these things. Even if you're doing that, please change that.
True,
Okay,
true,
for at least until the time that you are placed in a really good organization and you're really happy about it.
true.
Then you have your entire life ahead of you to enjoy things, which you should totally do. These are the kind of things that will rejuvenate you, right?
Hmm.
But for now, Abhishek, there are certain things that the panel is expecting from you,
Okay.
right? As I said, put yourself in the HR shoes and understand, if I give this kind of response, will
Hmm.
that person be convinced, right?
Hmm.
Every response that you give, make sure that you think from the other person's perspective.
Perspective.
Always, every
Okay.
response of yours.
That's
Always think, yes.
Mhm. That's actually my question. That's actually my next question.
Mhm.
I mean, how should I practice for this?
How should you practice? Okay.
Hmm.
This is something that I learned 2 years back when I was actually giving an interview in an MNC. If you have a list of things, a list of questions with yourself,
Hmm.
right? The ideal questions. Now you already know, Abhishek. You've given 2 or 3 interviews, and I'm also talking to you today. I'm going to help you. What are the list of questions that will be right asked to you?
Hmm.
Now you know that these are the 6, 7 questions that will be asked to you.
Hmm.
I want you to write those 5, 6 questions in front of you, like how I said today. Like any person will
Oh.
start the discussion with the introduction.
Hmm.
Then,
Tell me something
what
about
is it
yourself.
that you do exactly? That what is it that you do in your free time, right? What are your
Okay.
hobbies? We'll come to the behavioral bit of it in some time, right?
Okay. Second question is,
So
tell me
these
about your
six
hobbies.
to
Okay.
seven questions will be short, right? You know कि ये पूछे जाएंगे.
Hmm.
Exactly. You know that these questions will be asked. Now,
So I can prepare for
when you
them.
write these questions, I want you only, yes, I want you to write the responses of those questions
The
also,
thing is,
right?
last time, uh,
Mm-hmm.
last time I tried to write down at least, I guess wrote down 12 questions that I thought
Mm-hmm.
that could come, that would definitely come into my interview. So I
Mm-hmm.
tried to write answers for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the next time I tried to give the interview, uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was not an actual interview. It was just a mock interview. I was trying to talk to myself on my camera.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, I was trying to exactly copy those sentences,
No,
those paragraphs that I wrote, which was
no.
actually very, very wrong because
Yes.
I could see my face, how I was trying to answer those. Like I had memorized the stuff, or I was trying to look
That is
away,
where you're
trying to
going
leave.
wrong, Abhishek. Yes. I
That was
totally,
that was very wrong.
yeah, I love the fact that you said that you've already done this exercise, but the
Mm.
way you try to execute is completely wrong.
True.
It can just, it can just go as a blunder. Okay.
Exactly.
Or what you did is right. Now, when you have the list of questions and answers ready, okay, I tell this, I give this exercise to all my students when I talk to them.
Mm.
So when you have the list of answers ready, you're not supposed to by heart it, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I
Because
get the point. You
the
have to get an
interview is
idea.
supposed to, yeah,
Yes, you have to.
exactly. Just have the idea. ये question
True.
पूछा जाएगा, so this is my response in the paper. Now, when you're
हल्का सा
talking to
glimpse
that
याद कर लिया
person,
उसका. Exactly. वो
exactly.
बहुत काम
No, you're
करता
not
है.
supposed to do that. You just know कि ये question के these are the 4 or 5 words that are really important. Now, I'll use these 4 or 5 words and
True.
make
And
a
I had to
complete
include that into
dialogue.
something good.
All that you have to do now, Abhishek, is have those answers ready. Please do not by heart it. Just know before you start the interview, just run it through.
True.
As I said, honesty and genuinity is something that all the HR professionals look forward to see, especially in the students. I'm sure there will be certain incidents from your college life or the previous student life that you've had earlier, wherein there will be certain instances that you got into the leader shoes, or you just went ahead, you led the team, something like that. I'm sure you've had college fests. Have you completed any project,
Mm.
a
Yes,
team
yes, yes.
project?
I have.
Okay. So any instance that you remember where you
Yes.
okay, since the question that was asked to you was about conflict resolution, right? Certain team members from your team were not agreeing with you,
Conflict.
and what did you do
Exactly.
in that situation, right? Okay. And what did you tell? Do you remember?
True.
Do you want to share? No, you don't remember.
Yes, yes, yes. I can give you a glimpse of that.
Hmm.
So no, no. I remember the thing. The whole example by heart. Shall I
Don't
give
do
you
that.
a glimpse of it?
Yes. Let's keep it short. Just tell me, what is it majorly that you try to highlight with your response?
Okay, so I told them that there was this group that we found. We were on a project, and my
Mm-hmm.
group mates wanted something out of the project, and they wanted to do it by applying one approach, and I did not agree with them, and they did not agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them that it's okay for this to happen in a
Mm-hmm.
project. It's
Yeah.
nothing, it's nothing extraordinary. This happens.
Mm-hmm.
So how I dealt with it was, I tried to reason with them. I tried to talk to each one of them, uh,
Mm-hmm.
in front of the whole group only, and
Mm-hmm.
which actually failed. So I tried to, they did not agree with me, and they were a majority. So in order to put my opinion on the table, I actually went out, and asked and did a research on other groups, and tried to learn how they were implementing their project, and I tried to
Mm-hmm.
highlight why my approach was actually good for our project. And in that way, I collected the data, I did the research, and one day after that, I tried to present that again to the group, and to my surprise, they all agreed to my points, and we actually implemented that. And as a result, 2 weeks later, we worked really hard, and we were able to accomplish our task really well. And our project stood second in the class in the whole
Okay.
batch. So that went pretty great.
Okay. So Abhishek, your response is
Hi.
perfect,
Okay.
but again, as I think you have read it from somewhere, right? You are um, trying to use the similar set of words which the HR will pretty much understand that this is coming from somewhere else and not from the personal experience. Has it actually happened with you, or it was just read somewhere?
Okay. No, no, no. This incident is actual, and this has happened to me. But I
Hmm.
tried to frame it in such a way, in exactly that way that I read online.
Exactly. That
So
is where you're
this
going
actually
wrong.
happened, and this is a true story. But the way I presented it, this not.
So Abhishek,
So I guess the way that I presented it was a bit too formal and
yes.
by the book, maybe.
Yes, you got. I mean, I don't have to give any feedback to you. Pretty much have understood where you're going wrong. The incident, the amazing example that you have, can
Okay.
be, probably communicated in
Mm.
a different fashion than what you currently did. Okay. The usage of a lot of
Okay.
technical terms, like I reasoned with them and other things that you said, it's sounding too theoretical. Okay. Even if the example is genuine, it's not coming across as a
Did it
genuine
did it
incident.
sound like did it sound like okay, okay, okay. Did it sound like I was trying to highlight my own qualities too loud? Did it sound
No,
like that?
not that way. I think that's what you're supposed to do, highlighting your qualities. However, the choice of words or the way you said it, right,
But
was
subtly,
not.
but subtly.
Yes, but subtly, yes. Okay, see, I'll tell you how you're supposed to tell.
Okay.
Okay, just start by
Hmm.
saying that,
Hmm.
just take it naturally. Imagine that you're talking to me, like how comfortable you are with me right now, right? That is how comfortable you should be with any panel that exists on the face of the earth until you are placed in a really good company. Okay,
Okay.
be super comfortable. Okay,
Okay.
now when you're comfortable, you will not think too much about being good or being wrong or following certain things that are
Hmm.
mentioned in the web. Okay, just imagine that you're
Hmm.
talking to I don't know, like a friend who is helping you with or you're just explaining a certain scenario to a friend, just to make sure
Hmm.
that you're super comfortable. Once you're comfortable, the flow will come automatically into the picture. Okay, now when
Okay.
you're telling that certain people in my team were not happy with the way that I was proposing certain things and all of that, you were really rigid about following the
Hmm.
process that was mentioned in the web, right? Trying to use that and fit into your instance. नहीं ये नहीं करना है. All that you
Okay.
have to do is genuinely tell, listen, this was the concern, and what I did, you just have to tell that what I feel according, these should be your words, okay? Now, what I feel according to my experience, every time
Hmm.
there's a team working together, conflicts
Hmm.
are bound to be there.
Hmm.
Conflicts. And why and how
Hmm.
conflicts come? when there is a communication gap or there is a miscommunication. The way you might have given certain
mm,
information to your team members that may have come across, very rudely, or you might have said certain things that the other people felt that you were being too blunt, right? So when the project is not going
mm,
fine, or there is some suggestion from the other team member that you were critical about, the team member will not like it, right? So give these
mm,
genuine situations wherein you tell that my team member came up with an idea, and the other team members were very critical about that
mm,
idea. They did not welcome that idea, or they executed that idea. So one of the team members was really upset about it, and
mm,
throughout the discussion he was not contributing enough. That is when I took the
mm,
initiative, right? I went ahead and I spoke to that person in person. I told him that it's okay, we're working as a team. Now, just
mm,
because your idea was not welcomed, that doesn't mean that we don't respect your thoughts. It's just that there is a strict timeline right now. We are
mm,
running short of time. We have to deliver the project by tomorrow.
mm,
So we're just, all working together in this. Now, you spoke to that one person personally. Now, what I did after this was, the other people who were critical about his idea, I went to them and I told them that, listen, that is not the right way to give feedback. If you're not liking the idea, we can just tell that, hey, this is a really good idea, but this idea will not fit into this situation. We can use this
mm,
idea tomorrow in the next assignment.
mm,
So let's go back to that person and have a really healthy discussion and tell him that, come on, that doesn't mean that you don't come with another idea at all. The intention was not to, rub you off the wrong direction.
okay.
We are all a team. So this is what I did. And after I spoke to that one person who was offended personally and the other people who actually offended the other person, everybody came together. And after that, we really had a healthy
Mm,
discussion and we came first in the project line, something like this. Here, by giving this example,
okay.
just because I said this, you don't have to give the same example. I'm sure there will be thousands of situations like
I
this.
know, I know.
So all that I want you to do is remember
No,
three
no.
or four instances from your college days
Okay,
that will only highlight how
okay.
you took the initiative, you got yourself into the shoes of a leader, and you changed things for good. It can be
Mm,
anything. See, this is one of the examples. Another example
mm,
is,
okay.
always highlight, things that you have done towards the goodness of or wellness of the society. I'm sure you have been a part of certain
Okay.
clubs, CSR clubs that were there in your college, right? A blood donation
Mm,
camp, or
mm,
keeping your environment clean camp,
yes, yes.
visiting the old age homes,
Mm, mm,
visiting the destitute children,
mm,
something like that. Even if you've not done
mm,
it, plan to do it in the future.
mm,
For now, you can tell that you have already done it. Okay. So apart from
okay.
studying and scoring
Mm,
pretty good marks in the college and all of that, what is it that you do in your free time? All these kind of
mm,
responses, trust me, will take the cake. A is, I invest a lot of time in learning
okay.
new things. Okay, you said that you are into machine learning. That is the
Mm,
future. That is the booming market in the industry right now,
mm,
right? There are hundreds of, like, not even hundreds, like hundreds of
mm,
platforms that are teaching these things, right? AIML, right? How
mm,
you play around with
mm,
data. There are lots of platforms that will teach you that. I want you to start
mm,
learning those things so that next time there is a question, or you don't even have to wait for that question. Just tell that, it's not mentioned in my resume, but whenever I'm free, I learn a lot of things on the learning platforms. The immediate next question, Abhishek, will be, okay, you are uh, a keen learner, right, Abhishek? So tell me, what is the recent thing you learned on web? If you are genuine,
mm.
you will have
So I
10
should be
things.
ready for that. Mm,
Yes, you will have 10 things to tell there already, that these are the
mm,
recent things that I learned. Now, when you give these kind of
mm,
responses, right, the HR
mm,
will be super convinced and they'll be like, oh my God. if I take this person, I don't have to spend too much time or effort into teaching these things to this person because he is already a learner. Every time
He
he's
can
already
learn.
telling me that every time he's free,
Hmm.
he likes to learn new things. Now, if he joins my organization, he'll
Hmm.
not only learn the things that
Hmm.
his lead or the manager is teaching, he'll be learning many other
Hmm.
things parallelly also. And
And
make
right
sure you start
now,
learning, Abhishek. It's not for the heck of
right,
it that you
I like.
tell this in the interview. What can be the other ways of somehow
Of
telling the
learning
panel
something.
that you are a keen learner? Tell me, apart from the
Okay,
online
so
portals.
other than online courses and college courses, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm free, I like teaching my fellow college mates or
Students.
my
Mm-hmm.
batch mates which are enrolled in my courses or which are junior to me. I like teaching
Mm-hmm.
them the subjects that I've learned already. It actually helps me. It actually helps me polish my skills on those skills
Mm-hmm.
and on those subjects, and it also even helps me get better at those things. So
Okay.
this is how I try to.
Okay. So one of the things that
Mm,
you said, very right, you can say that. Okay. The other things is that every time you have a free time, if you don't want to mention that you are into online learning portals because you are actually not getting time to invest in that, right? You can use
mm,
your college scenarios itself. Every time you are free, you either go to the
mm,
seniors, your seniors
mm,
who are passed out from the college, you try to connect with them, right? You try
mm,
to talk to them and understand how is the industry, how is the corporate treating them, how was their first job, how is their learning
okay,
going on, how is their learning curve going on, are they learning some new technologies? If they are learning, I ask them,
okay.
what is the new technology that you learned today?
Mm,
Right, if you can, whenever that person is free, right,
mm,
I try to talk to them and take some time off from their schedules and ask them to teach me those basic fundamentals of that particular technology that they learned on the job. That is one of the things,
mm,
following up with the senior students who have
mm,
passed out from your college. A. And B, you
mm,
are in constant touch with the lecturers, right, who you are really close to. Whenever you're free, you make sure that you go to them
mm,
and you somehow ask them to give you insights about what is it that is really trending in the market and what can I do to get better in whatever I'm doing right now, or
that's true.
constantly taking feedback on how my performance is from the lecturers, and
Mm,
try to ask
mm,
them what is it that I can do to get better in this subject,
mm,
right? A,
true.
passed out students, and in your case, what example you gave from your fellow batchmates, you go to them and you
Mm,
teach them whatever is it that you
mm,
don't know, you ask them to teach you, right? These are the
mm,
this is another example, and third example is follow up with your
mm,
lectures, ask them to give you feedback and how you can get better in things that you're not good at, right? These are really three strong
mm,
mediums wherein you can be you can gain a lot of knowledge apart from the online portals and the textbooks and
mm,
the other books, right? And web, obviously, right? A lot of
mm,
learnings can come in these
mm,
directions. And even if this question is not
mm,
asked, Abhishek, I want you to somehow slip this information into the discussion. Even if the panel does not ask you, okay, Abhishek, what is it that you do
yes, yes.
when you have free time? I'm not telling that each and every person will ask this question to you.
Mm,
Even if this question is not asked, I want you to somehow slip this
mm,
information that you are a keen learner to the panel. Show them that I'm always,
okay,
learning and evolving with time, so that if I join your organization, I'll be an asset and not a liability.
okay,
Okay, you have to somehow slip this
okay.
information in,
Mm,
when, or probably
mm,
when you are towards the end of the discussion, or someone asks you about your hobby or whatever, somehow tell that I do not like being idle. I'm keeping myself busy into learning things
mm,
right now because I know that this is the tender age wherein before I get into the job industry, I want to be sure about my basics, my fundamentals. So I'm giving my best, I'm
mm,
trying my best, I'm utilizing all the time that I have with me to utilize it in a way that hones my skills so that I'm
to
completely
improve my
ready when
skills.
I join the company. This
Mm.
should be your response, Abhishek. And tell that
Okay.
when I join a new company,
Mm.
I'm sure that the person will ask, what are your expectations from the job or from the role? For that kind of
Mm.
question, you should always say that I don't have any expectations as such, when it comes to infrastructure or the other benefits that the company provides. But the only expectation I have is that I should join a company wherein there's a lot of
That I
scope
get to learn a
towards
lot.
learning. Yes.
The this answer can also be applicable to the question like where do you see yourself in 5 years? So I can say
Yes.
this exact answer that the thing is I see myself in 5 years that I'm specialized in the fields that I'm interested in. That I'm
Exactly.
then that even after 5 years uh, I'm still trying to learn more and more and improve
Mhm.
my skills.
Yes, that's a really good, that's the ideal answer. However,
this
don't
is
keep
this
it
is how I want to see
too
myself.
too theoretical as you say it. Like portray it in a way that you become the bigger person. Like you can say that 5 years from now on, I want to be genuine about you. Whatever position that I am at, I want to make sure that I'm really happy with whatever
Mm,
learnings I've had. A and B, I want to be in a
mm,
position wherein whatever is it that I've learned, I want to impart that knowledge either to the colleagues that I'm
mm.
working at or the freshers. Like,
Okay.
see, I'm a fresher right now. You can tell this, okay? I'm a fresher right now, and now I
Mm,
totally understand the need
mm,
of having the right leader for myself. So, when I am four
mm,
years or 5 years into the industry, I
mm,
want to be that leader to the fresher who's just out of the
mm.
college right now and he doesn't know what to do or where to go. He is directionless. I want to be that person who can help the freshers
But
with the right direction to hone their skills in the right way.
mm,
You have to tell this.
mm.
You
but
will tell that I want to be in a position.
I mean
Yes.
if I am if I am sitting next to a manager, and if he
Mhm.
asks me this question that where do you see yourself in 5 years? So should I mention in my answer that I would really like to be a leader to those young freshers, and wouldn't it be a threat to his position? I mean, I always think
No.
about that. That if I say that I want to be, I see myself as a manager in 5 years, wouldn't it be a threat to his own position? He will say that he's trying to gain my position in 5 years.
No,
Why do I take
don't
him?
think that. I don't belittle yourself first of all, and don't belittle the other person. The person who's talking to you, he knows that it's okay. I'm a manager, and by the time you complete your 5 years and become a manager, I'll probably might have left this company, or I might have, promoted at a level wherein you can't even reach me. Something like that. Managers will not take anything of that sort
Hmm.
personally because you are still a student. If you were an experienced professional,
Okay.
say a 3 years of experience, then if you say that in another 1 or 2 years I want to, have a promotion and then probably lead a team, then yes, you will be a threat to
Hmm.
that person because that person is just 1 or 2 years elder to you, and then you are telling that I want to have a
Okay.
promotion in just 1 year and take over someone else's position. That's when you become a threat. And another thing is, I think the last time I spoke to another student, I told this. I want to tell this also to you. Glad that you brought this up. I was anyway going to tell you this. This is one question that many students will be asked. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? For this, I wanted to actually have a short term and a long term goal. Okay. Many people actually give out
Hmm.
information that in the next 5 years I want to become an entrepreneur. Okay, or probably I want to have my own company. I want to build my own product or start my own line of services. What you have to tell is you can totally tell that in 5 years I want to start my own company and probably in analytics or something like that. But many people, after telling that I want to become an
Hmm.
entrepreneur or I want to start my own company or something like that, right? I want to be the CEO of some company. uh, that is a long term goal. You understood, right?
mm,
Becoming something XYZ
mm.
is your long term goal. But to achieve a long term goal, you should have
Long-term
short
goal.
term goals. You know that, right? When someone says, I want to become the CEO,
Mm.
I asked, okay,
Yes.
to become the CEO of the company or to
What
become an entrepreneur, you should know what
mm.
business you want to start. The
what are
person
the
did not
what
know.
are the steps that you will be willing to take to
Yes, exactly. What are the short term goals?
okay.
Now,
This
when
was
this
like a
question is asked,
this was not a goal, this was a dream.
yes, that is something that you aspire to become down the line, right? You have long way to go to become that or to achieve that. You will
Mm.
definitely achieve that. I'm not ruling out the possibility of
Mm.
achieving that,
Mm.
but you have to always say that
Mm.
eventually I see
What steps are
myself.
you taking?
Exactly. So this should be your answer. If you ask me what is it that I want to achieve in 5 years or something like that, I don't want to put a time constraint to it. However, what I aspire to become or what I see myself as down the line is heading an organization as a CEO, or I want to have my own organization because I'm
Okay.
really passionate about data or something like that. That you put the right words in according to your plan. Okay.
Mm.
However, having said that, in order to achieve that, these are the little steps that I have to take. And what are those steps? I want to join an organization like yours, wherein I get all my fundamentals right.
Mm.
I want to be associated with an organization for a good amount of time, like say 5 years or 6 years. As I said, I do not want
Mm.
to put a timestamp right now because learning can take forever. There
Wait a
never
second.
is an end
Wait
for
a second.
learning.
I mean, I'm saying that maybe I should turn my video on so that you can see me for the last however much time we have left. Maybe you can
Hmm.
tell me if I'm sitting right or not in my seat.
Go ahead, go ahead. Okay, this is the right posture. Hi,
Okay, done. Can you see me?
this is the right posture. Yes, pretty
Okay,
much.
the right posture would be this.
Right posture. And the next time you have an actual interview going on, make sure the lights are on.
Actually,
You are facing the light.
hmm, now is it
Yes.
okay?
This is the right posture. Okay.
Or should I close this?
This is right.
This is
This
okay.
is right.
Hmm.
This is perfect, Abhishek. Okay, so we were talking about long-term
Hmm.
and short-term goals. It's
Hmm.
totally okay if you tell that person that eventually I want to start my own company or something like that, but make sure in order to achieve that, you have the short-term goals ready. Okay. And you very genuinely tell that
Hmm.
I feel there's a long way to go, in order to have my own company. But before that, I want to be very sure about my own skills, right? And how do I get to hone my skills?
Hmm.
By joining an organization like yours, wherein I get really better as a leader, as a colleague, as whatever, as a human being in the first place. Okay, and then probably once I'm comfortable and once I feel I'm ready,
Hmm.
I'll go ahead and do that. But yes, that is what I eventually see myself as. If this is your response and if you are being really genuine about it,
Okay.
that should totally work in your favor.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it.
So what are the things that we have
Hmm.
learned today? Tell me. Can we have a quick revision?
Yes, yes. Okay, so the first most important thing is the greetings. Then comes the introduction. Uh, in the
Mm-hmm.
in the first 15 minutes would be the main part, where you have to impress the interviewer and where your career will be decided. Then comes your posture.
Mm-hmm.
Then hand movements specify that you are confident while speaking. Smiling
Yes.
is a very good. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Smiling can be a very good uh, tool, and you
Mm-hmm.
should smile. Then
Mm-hmm.
comes the questions part, and finally, the things like basketball, football, and hobbies they come at last.
Okay.
Uh, then, what do you do in what do you do in your free time? I like to invest myself in online courses, and I like to keep updating my skills and hone my skills. Then,
Right.
second option would be that tell me something more that you do during your free time. in which I can say that I like teaching my friends that thing.
Mhm.
Then
ऐसे ही मत बोलो. Don't tell abruptly
okay.
that I like teaching my friends. That kind of
I mean,
gives
I mean,
a picture of.
I'm just
No, we
I'm
we
just
can
reading
say
out the
that
short
I'm a
form.
keen learner. No, 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 no. See, this is where you go wrong again. I know that this is you've noted
Oh,
down. You're just revising, but you can
okay.
tell that since I'm a keen learner,
Mm,
whatever I know, I try to impart it to my friends or my batchmates, and whatever is it that I don't know, I go to my classmates who are scoring really well in so and so project or whatever. I sit with them. I spend enough time so that they teach me things. It's a two-way street, right?
okay.
Don't try to tell that no, I'm always
Only I
teaching my
teach.
friends. It's a good
Mm,
thing, but
mm,
you also want to prove that you're a good team player, right? Eventually, you
mm,
will join a company, you will work in a team. So
mm,
somehow try to prove that you are a good team player. And how do you do that?
mm,
You always go talk to people, you socialize, you network well with seniors, juniors, right? You're teaching at the same time, you're learning a lot, things that you don't know of. And the behavioral questions, um, I do not want you to clutter your mind by reading a lot of things that are there on web, Abhishek.
mm,
You please go through it, go through instances, but do not memorize those exact same things. I'm sure you have spent so many years as a student, right? I'm sure you will remember too many things as a friend, as a person who was a part of a project, or
mm,
as a son, as a brother, or something like that, right? You have been good. You have resolved certain things which eventually have turned out to be good for you as well as for the people around you, right?
mm,
So remember those instances and try to explain it in a way that has a very natural flow to it.
mm,
Don't try to sound very fake or sound not sound genuine. That is a big no. Never do that. Do not ever memorize. And the technologies, right? I don't know what technologies you're currently proficient with, but whatever is it that you have mentioned in your resume, okay, in order to have really good ratings from the tech panel, whatever is it that you know already and you're really good at should be highlighted in the resume. A
okay.
certain technology that you don't know of yet, उसको resume में अभी के लिए mention मत करना. Take 1 or 2 weeks time,
Mm,
at least understand the fundamentals of that technology and then mention it in your resume.
okay.
Because when the person is talking to you, Abhishek, the resume will be in the hand.
Mm,
Whatever is it that you've mentioned in your resume, right?
mm,
Those questions only will be asked to you, right?
mm,
Towards the end of the discussion, if something like, I led so and so management fest in my college,
mm,
right? If you've mentioned this in your resume, the question will be asked on that. Okay, you've told here that you were the leader for so and so management fest that was conducted in your college. Tell me, what were your responsibilities,
mm,
right? So
mm,
whatever is it that is mentioned in the resume, make sure you have the answers to all of that.
mm.
If you don't know answers to anything, learn that and then put it in your resume.
The point.
And
Mm,
another thing that I want to tell, have you faced this towards the end of the discussion? Has any panel so far asked you, do you have any questions or
yes, yes,
um,
yes. I always ask
something like that?
questions. This is very important.
Okay, so the first question that you asked, do you like your job here? Are you happy?
Mm,
A big no. Never ask that.
okay.
Okay, never
Wait.
ask that.
Are you happy? No.
Obviously, that person, even if he's not happy, he or she will tell, yes, I'm happy only, right?
Okay.
Not right now. Because, see, when a person is coming from so and so organization, he or she is currently the ambassador of that organization. He or she is representing that company. Now, if you ask a question like, are you happy with the job? And that person's responsibility is to tell yes, because he is come here to sell the job to you. Like how you are sitting here to get the job, he is come here to sell that company to you so that you join my company and not some other company. Correct? So first
Mm,
question, a big no.
mm,
Second question, awesome. Like the question that you
mm.
asked, if I join your company, how will my normal day look like? Never ask him, how does your day look like? Okay? You ask him
Okay.
about your day. If I
Mm,
get selected tomorrow and
mm,
I'm given a date to join your organization on September or
mm,
whenever it is, right? Initial few months, I'm sure there'll be a lot of learning projects given to me. But after that, if you already have the information, if you could tell me how will my normal day look like?
mm,
Will I be placed in a project in just 2 or 3 months, or do I have to wait for 6 months? Because some companies, Abhishek, have this policy that the people who are joining straight out of college will have this learning period for a minimum of 6 months, or some companies have 1 year also.
mm,
Okay? So ask these kind of questions. Okay, so if I join your organization, what is the learning period for the freshers in your company? How long do I have to wait until I am actually placed in a real-time project, not a dummy project? You can ask these kind of
okay.
questions. Okay?
Mm. One more question that I can ask the technical interviewer is that what kind of tech stack are you currently are you guys using in your company?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Mm.
That's a good question. You can totally ask these questions.
And what kind of location would I be allotted if I join this company?
Yes, these questions you can ask to the HR person. The tech panel will not have this kind of information.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
During the managerial discussion, you can ask anything related to what are the other benefits that your organization provides if I join your company, like apart from the normal CTC. Do you
okay.
guys provide insurance? If I join your organization after COVID, probably, is there any cafeteria? Is there any cab facility available? These kind of questions, right? You can keep for the HR discussion.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
But never say that, no, I don't have any questions to ask. It's okay
One
to
more
ask questions.
Uh, I
Yes,
mean,
Abhishek.
can I ask the same questions to the to the technical round interviewer and the manager also, or do they talk to each other and they communicate to each other regarding
What
this?
questions?
That
Same questions means,
the same questions means that I asked the same question to the technical guy that how would my normal day at this so and so company be like? And then I
uh
asked the same question to the manager also that how would my normal day would look like?
that's okay. See, they
That
don't. I don't think they interact with each other because you'll not be the only student, Abhishek. There'll be too many students that they'll be interviewing. You can definitely ask, but remember one thing: all the technical questions and all of that should be kept for the technical panel. All the non-tech questions, right?
should be
Like
kept
what
for
I
the
said,
HR
yes,
or manager.
should be kept for the HR round. Like, what is the probation period in your company? This is one question that you should ask to the HR and not
Mm,
the technical panel.
mm,
Okay, what is the probation period, and how long do I have to wait to actually be a part of a real-time project? What
mm.
is the learning scope in your organization? Because this is where you can actually ask the HR and prove again that you are a keen
That you
learner.
are a learner.
Okay.
So you discussed about you were talking about the benefits of this video conferencing thing that is now
Mm-hmm.
happening. Instead of a face-to-face round, we have benefits also and we have demerits also. So I would like to know the demerits and merits of this. So that
From the HR perspective, see, we are talking right now.
mm,
I so wish that I was sitting across the table in a physical setup.
mm,
I'll be in a much better position to
yeah,
understand your body language, the confidence.
true,
Okay, I can take the stress interview in a better way. You know
mm,
what a stress interview is, right?
true. Yes,
Stress
so that is my
interview
advantage.
is,
That is my advantage.
yes. So I think this is the demerit for you, right? If you are good at stressful situations, right?
Okay.
And you know, I cannot gauge it over video call, no, video call or something like that.
Mm,
Video, okay, see, stress interview is another tool wherein the interviewer will do everything possible to make you uncomfortable,
okay.
anything possible to make you uncomfortable. And the purpose of doing that is to see how you actually react
Mm,
in a uncomfortable situation. That is all,
mm.
nothing else. Okay, asking you certain questions just to see how your responses will be. Hey, your marks are just 42 and so subject. Why
Mm,
is it? And you think taking you will be a good idea for me with marks like this.
mm,
This is to make sure that you are uncomfortable. Trust me, marks don't matter. Given
mm,
you are really good with your skills, your technology is showing that you're a keen learner, you're confident, you are a social person, you are always helping people, right? These are the things that the HR people are trying to
looking
listen
for.
to or trying to understand from the student, especially.
Mm,
And another thing is that, as I said in the beginning of the discussion, that many students join the company. They learn all the things in 1 year or 6 months or something like that. They will get another opportunity and they'll quit and go.
mm,
This is one of the biggest fears that organizations have, because they spend a lot of time, they spend a lot of money in freshers, in
mm,
training them and all of that. If the person learns everything and just leaves in 6 7 months or max 1 year, it's a big loss,
mm,
monetary, non-monetary, everything put together. So, like how I said that, somehow, even if it is not asked, somehow you will try to slip in this information that you're a keen learner. Okay, in the same fashion, I want you to slip this information in some or the other way that you will always remain loyal to the organization, because that organization has given you an opportunity to start your career with. Okay, and I will be loyal to the team.
mm,
3 years is what you're aiming at for the beginning. बाद में you work with them for 3 years or not, that is secondary. But for now, some HRs actually ask this, right? If we take you, for how long do you intend to be associated with our company?
mm,
Some people ask this. For that question, the right answer would be that no, I don't think I would like to put a timestamp to my stint with your organization, because
mm,
I have always been loyal to my stakeholders in my life, be it anything, my family, my friends, or anything. Once I'm committed to something, for me, all that is important is I'm learning and growing at the same time. If I'm learning and growing with your company,
then there's
then
no need to change.
I don't think anything can, force me to leave that company. I can be there for my entire life. This should be your answer. But you sound confident. I want you to have this similar level of confidence and have that smile in your face always. Make sure that you're showing with your body language, your gestures, and all of that, that you're comfortable, and have the right introduction. The first 10 minutes should just, you should just go there and kill it.